ago, people used a balance to compare the weights of things. If the weight at one end balanced the weight at the other end, you knew that the objects weighed the same. The same kind of balance enables you to balance a bat, ride your bike, do acrobatic stunts, and dance gracefully. It is the same kind of balance that enables tall objects to remain upright without falling over. Balance can take some surprising forms. Fold a sheet of paper in half and cut a design in it. The halves are exactly alike. We say the design has balance because one half attracts your attention as much as the other half. Or drop some different colors of ink on one half of a sheet of paper. Press the halves together. Surprise! You have created another balanced design because one half attracts your attention as much as the other half. The kind of balance in which one half is exactly like the other half is often called symmetry. All of these designs have symmetry. Why? Sometimes it's fun to test a design to see whether it is really symmetric. To do this, place a mirror as near to the middle of the design as you can. If the half that is reflected in the mirror is exactly like the half that is behind the mirror, you know the design has symmetry. What's more, the place where the mirror rests on the design is called the line of symmetry. The kind of symmetry that has one line of symmetry is often called mirror symmetry. Many objects, as well as many designs, have mirror symmetry. See if you can tell where the line of symmetry should go in each of these. People, as well as many other living things, also have mirror symmetry when you view them from certain directions. But designs and objects are not all that can have symmetry. This number sentence has symmetry in two ways. What are they? For one, the halves look symmetrical. The half you see in the mirror looks like the half that is in back of the mirror. How else is the number sentence symmetrical? It is symmetrical in meaning because the numeral 1 plus 8 names the same number as 8 plus 1. In how many ways is this number sentence symmetrical? In meaning only. The numerals on either side of the equals sign name the same number. Number patterns and things that are used to represent them can also have symmetry. Pairs of identical objects also make symmetric designs when you line them up properly. This pair of shoes doesn't make a symmetric design because the shoes are not lined up properly. What can you do to arrange them in a symmetric way? First, turn one shoe so it lines up with the other. Next, flip it over so that the soles and tops face the same direction. Finally, slide one shoe closer to the other. Why does the pair of shoes now make a symmetric design? You have probably noticed by now that objects that make symmetric designs must be the same size and the same shape, or the designs won't be symmetric. Objects that have the same size and the same shape are called congruent. Congruent objects always have the same size and the same shape. Most of the things you have seen so far have had but one line of symmetry. Is it possible for designs and objects to have more than one line of symmetry? How many lines of symmetry has this design? 2. One lies up and down, and the other lies crossways. Count the lines of symmetry in this figure 8. Here's one, and here's the other. It too has 2 lines of symmetry. How many lines of symmetry does this triangle have? Do all triangles have 3 lines of symmetry? Check these. Through this stagecoach wheel pass many lines of symmetry, but they pass through it in only 2 kinds of places. Can you find them? Half pass through opposite spokes. The other half pass through opposite spaces. Symmetry in which there is more than one line of symmetry is often called radial symmetry. Why do all of these have radial symmetry? When a design has radial symmetry, it can be divided along any of its lines of symmetry, and the halves will always be congruent. Some very common as well as beautiful designs and objects have radial symmetry. Here is a quite different design. Its symmetry comes from repeating the same shape over and over again. The symmetry of this design is slightly different because it is made by repeating the same pattern over and over again. When a design contains a shape or pattern of shapes that is repeated over and over, we say the design has rhythm. Rhythm is often important in giving designs balance and symmetry. All of these designs have symmetry because they contain shapes and patterns that are repeated again and again. But symmetry that you can see is not the only kind there is. When you run your finger over the edge of this napkin holder, you can feel the rhythm of its symmetry as well as see it. Repeated sounds have their own kinds of symmetry. The rhythm of the words and sounds of this verse help give it symmetry.
Up above the world so high, like
Adding the rhythm of music to that of the words creates a beautifully balanced song.
I wonder what you are, up above the world so high, like a diamond in the sky.
Balance is one of the most common and useful properties in the universe. In one way or other, it is present in nearly everything you see or feel or hear. Symmetry is a kind of balance that takes many forms. Designs and objects with but one line of symmetry have mirror symmetry. Mirror symmetry is one of the most common forms of symmetry. Pairs of objects can also have mirror symmetry, as can groups of objects. Number patterns often have symmetry in their meaning. In this magic square are hidden many surprising examples of meaning symmetry. Designs and objects with radial symmetry have more than one line of symmetry. Radial symmetry produces some of our most beautiful designs. Rhythm helps create balance and symmetry in such things as patterns and designs, works of art, poetry and music, even in such common everyday things as a dog's trot or the march of waves upon the beach. As important as balance and symmetry are in the universe, you would soon become bored if everything you saw or felt or heard was perfectly symmetrical. But few things that are made either by people or by nature are perfectly symmetrical. What's more, things like this tower can be beautiful and yet not have strict symmetry. Things that are not symmetrical are said to have asymmetry. Asymmetry is the opposite of symmetry. Although symmetry and asymmetry are opposites, both are necessary if things are to have lasting interest and beauty. The designer of this church used both symmetry and asymmetry to keep the design from becoming boring. He made the windows and the door very symmetric. Then he placed the tower off to one side to break up the symmetry and keep the design interesting. Next time you see something balanced and symmetrical, look for the asymmetry as well. You could be surprised where you'll find it.